me out of his basement. I'm free.
It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, it has.
I've powered back up for the show.
Here we are.
I just shut down and then
Owen,
come back on.
Yep. He's rebooted himself.
Yep.
He finally has enough cryptocurrency to keep the power running on himself.
Yeah. No, that's not true. If you knew anything about the market right now, you'd know that's not true.
Let's see what everything's at right now.
It's true.
Let's have some fun.
It's bad.
No, it's not fun. It's depressing. So let's not talk
really
about
is.
it.
All right. Our future
Stupid-
selves, just in
stupid
case
China.
you're listening to this episode, Bitcoin is currently hovering around $4,073.
That's making a bounce back.
Apparently,
Wow, that went up $1,000.
Yeah.
What the heck?
It's the most volatile thing I've ever seen.
That's ridiculous.
It's crazy. It went down because China said, we're not allowing any new coins to be traded on in our country.
They shut down everything.
Oh,
they
did they
shut down the Bitcoin
even
exchanges,
the-
altcoins,
Oh.
everything is done. They
So
have
people-
until the 15th or something.
Oh, okay.
Or the end
I
of the month. They had to notify people by the 15th.
I misunderstood the
So,
article.
so people that currently have coins, do they keep them?
They're dumping them. They're either dumping them or they're moving over to Japan, some other Asian countries where they can still do business.
Basically any other Asian country.
Basically,
It's just China.
It's just that I mean, can you imagine as a small-time miner, if there are any in China, which I don't believe, because power is cheap and so are the parts. But you're like, oh, you got to shut down. You can't move here. Like you could never move out of the country. If they shut down cryptocurrencies here in the U.S., I couldn't just be like, no, I'm going to go to Canada and mine.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
That wouldn't work.
Leave it to Owen to bring up some news items about
Just take a-
cryptocurrency before we do our introductions.
Just
Hey,
take a road trip.
I think that James did
think it was
and then
James, yeah.
Tony supported it, so
It's
I
true.
jumped on board.
Yep.
I was the third person in that train.
Why you got to be so angry, Jaron?
I'm
Yeah.
an angry little person.
Ethereum is at 293.65 right now.
Nice.
Pretty good,
coming
actually.
back up.
That's pretty good.
All right, let us do our introductions. Owen.
Hey, I'm Owen. You can follow me on Twitter at TechNoan. Sometimes I get on there and post things, and sometimes I don't. More of them don't. But I do lurk a lot. So, anyway, that's it.
Is that you over there lurking?
That's me lurking.
Any games?
No, I don't think I've played any new games this last couple weeks. I have been too preoccupied with work and family. Life. I'm sorry.
There you go. True man.
I played the game of life this last little bit. Haven't had any computer game times or
The
otherwise.
graphics are pretty good in that.
Yeah, they're HD for sure.
Gets a little boring sometimes.
When you have your glasses on, they're HD. If you
That's
take your
sad.
glasses off, all of a sudden you're low res.
I got new glasses.
VHS quality.
I got new glasses. Is that like a new monitor?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, they look good.
Yeah, they're exactly the same.
Oh, those are new?
You wouldn't be
Oh
able
yeah,
to tell.
I noticed the difference.
Yeah,
They-
nobody.
Well, they
does.
look really clean compared to the
That's
normal ones.
yeah. That's the upgrade.
There's not that layer of grime
No,
that you're
like-
so famous for.
Not grime. No. Scratches. I am really bad about using the microfiber cloth. So I use my shirt quite often. And
Oh, I thought you
So-
meant just bad at it, like you didn't do it good and it would scratch things
no,
up.
I don't use the cloth.
Ooh, I'm
and-
bad with microfiber. Scratch, scratch,
No,
scratch.
I'm gonna rub
I'm really
this
bad. I'm
microfiber.
really bad at using them.
Throw some sand on there.
It'll clear it right up. In fact, the clearest my glasses have ever been was like a year ago when Tony let me use some fancy glass cleaner that he got.
It's like $3 at the store.
Yeah, well,
Fancy.
whatever.
No, it cost me like 10.
Yeah, it's more fancy than my spit.
Whoa, high
which is
roller.
what I
That's
normally
right.
use. I normally use my spit, so it was way
Yeah.
more.
That's disgusting, man.
Yeah, dude.
All right, Jaron.
So I'm the angry little one. Sorry, I'm Jason.
Nope.
No, that's
You've
not right
turned
either.
over a new leaf, dude.
I'm Jaren.
You've turned over a new leaf, and that's not you anymore.
There was a good email that we recorded before this.
You'll
and
catch it next week.
Next week, so stay tuned for that on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Anyway, so I've had a good week with gaming, actually.
Oh?
Yeah. It's my month for the game of the month. Owen's doing a thrifty 50 for last month since we missed that, but
Yeah.
I skipped ahead and doing the game of the month. I'm playing a lot of Destiny 2.
Ooh, how is it?
I
Did you get the racist armor yet?
No, they're taking that out.
Oh yeah, they took that out.
Yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts. I don't know if I should speak about it though till next week or next time when I have
Yeah,
more
let's-
thoughts.
We'll do a full review on it.
Yeah,
You
but-
can-
But so far-
Early impressions, I really, really, really like it.
nice.
Yeah. My Twitter handle is at Jaron, Jarron, and that's it for me. James, how are you?
I don't see any racist armor. I'm currently looking at it right now.
It was a
Do you see
logo
it?
on one of the armors that was the white supremacist logo or
Some
something like that.
Kekarian flag, something, I don't know.
Okay, you guys got to point that out to me because I have no idea what that is.
They
What's up?
they removed it.
Yeah,
they
took
took
it
it out really quick, and Bungie issued a huge "This isn't us," and we can't believe that happened, and it wasn't based in hate.
Well, I'm not even looking at. I just want to see a picture of it. I'm not looking on Bungie.
Well,
or
it's not a
anything,
whole armor. It's only one logo on the top of the hand of one of the armors.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see that in the post. I'm like, what's the bad part about it?
Yeah. Oh well. What's up? My name's James. You can catch me here, obviously, or behind the scenes in numerous other places. You can catch me on Geek Show sometimes. I do the videos for them. I also do all the videos for here and on my YouTube page, rdpov.com. That stands for Red Devil Point of View. Or I guess not even the .com. I don't need that.
Do you got a video coming up for that?
Yeah, this next week's video is based on well, it's not based on. It's directly taken from a Cyanide and Happiness comic that I really like.
I like those guys.
And yeah, so check that out.
It's not based on, meaning never mind.
I feel like when you say it's based on, it's like loosely based. Like, anywho, we're taking it.
Just call it a ripoff.
It's a ripoff.
There we go.
We're gonna be crediting them though
Okay.
in the thing, but it's whatever. I haven't really been playing anything lately. I've just been too busy. Tony and I are getting ready for Comic-Con, and I wish that we would have talked beforehand about the meetup before we start the show. Do you mind if we pause it really quick and then come back? Because this is something we need to talk about.
Yeah.
All right, quick pause, guys, and get ready for us in the future and Tony's intro in the future.
2 minutes in the future.
Is it working? Are we back?
I think we're back.
Yeah.
Feels like we're back.
We're
Okay.
in the future.
Yeah.
So here's what we've come to the conclusion and agreement on. We will be meeting at the Neaters at Cedar Creek Mall, 3 o'clock on Saturday, the 23rd. Is that the right day?
Yep.
And we'll be there for an hour and a half.
3 to 4:30.
We're going to buy a bunch of cookies, and so come by and have a cookie and say hey.
Yeah.
So Saturday, September 23rd,
Yep.
from 3 until 4:30, we will be at City Creek at Neaters. And if you need the address for whatever reason,
And this is in Salt Lake.
28 South
FYI.
State Street, number 235.
Salt Lake, Utah. We will put it on Facebook and come eat cookies. Be disappointed by us, but enjoy the cookies.
We're
Yeah,
giving out
don't-
free cookies.
Don't expect a whole lot besides a cookie. The cookies will be good. Everything else, eh.
Yep.
I wanted to give you guys T-shirts,
I
but
don't-
Tony said no.
We don't got that kind of money.
Tony said no.
You act like we have sponsors. We don't have sponsors.
I'm sponsored by the candy that you give me.
Look, I'll have a Sharpie, and if you guys really want a T-shirt, I will draw on your shirt
Dude,
perfect.
you know what I should do? Buy Hanes T-shirts.
and just
And then just draw the crap out of them, and we can just hand those out.
I will draw.
The
I will draw.
doohickey spot.
I will draw the G spot on your shirt.
Oh,
Will you have
is it
an
going to
arrow?
be easy to find?
It'll be super easy to find.
Nice.
Oh, that should be our slogan for "Come have brunch with us." We're super easy to find. Yeah. Anywho, we got a host of the show.
Oh yeah, it's my turn to introduce.
What
It's-
games are you playing, James?
Oh yeah, James. It's not my turn to introduce.
I already said I'm not playing anything
Oh, yeah.
because I'm so busy. Because Comic-Con's coming up. Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
gosh, we need to
Excuses.
talk about.
This
us
is what I'm
meeting up
hearing
with
from
the-
you and Owen.
So we should pause it, and then next time we're going to talk, we're going to be in the future. Hi, my name's Tony.
Hi, my name's Tony. Check me out on Twitter at QuadTTony, right here on the Gadget Spot or on the Geek Show podcast. As far as gaming goes, I've had a pretty good 2 weeks of gaming as well, Jaron. I finished
I feel
Dragon
ya.
Age Inquisition.
Oh, what did
Yep.
you think?
I liked it.
What did you think of the ending? Did it blow your mind, Grapes?
Yes. I don't, what was it? What was so crazy about it?
Oh, there's a big reveal with a character.
Oh, with
Don't spoil
the
it.
game's been out for like 3 years.
Yeah,
With Solus.
yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of cool.
It was cool, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like, oh my gosh.
No, it wasn't like that.
So, but it was a fun game.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
How many dragons did you kill?
I only killed 3.
Weak. How many did you kill?
All 10?
I got bored of running around on those maps.
I feel the same way about Zelda.
You know, I think I did all the DLC except for no, I think I completed all the DLC stuff. I didn't kill all the dragons, and I didn't get into the third room for the shards. You can't eat that.
Why not?
Megan wants it.
But it's been down there for like a year.
She doesn't know it's there. Put the chocolate orange back.
What if I get
it's
it
for the
started
wife.
and take one?
It's for the wife.
It's his backup present when he forgets about an event. Okay.
That's a sorry orange right there.
No, that's a sorry James.
Oh, that's a sorry orange for
I just
when
love chocolate so much.
when stuff
Oh,
goes
by the way,
sideways.
when you meet up with us, don't bring us anything. We don't need anything. We just need you.
Yes,
Just
I
saying.
agree.
We just want you to say hi. So anyway, I played that and finished that one up. So that was good. I've got a little a new segment that I want to start that will take us. I'll do in just a minute about your backlog.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's a little tease for after we do the Patreon. Awesome people.
Owen, what's Patreon?
Patreon is a way you guys can help give back a little. You know, help us keep the lights on and donate a couple bucks, a couple schmeckles to us, and help us out. And you get some cool extra content when you do. Right? Am I wrong? Am I
Where
right?
can you find
You're
us,
right.
though? Where can you find us?
You
on
know, I'm going to
Patreon?
get this URL wrong. So
It's really easy.
It's
Gee.
Patreon
Patreon.com
/
Gadget Spot.
I wanted to put the in there.
Nope.
Dude,
You got no part of that right, Owen.
I got most of it right because I coaxed Tony into doing it for me.
do you guys like the new little intro video that I made for
That's
our
fantastic.
Patreon page?
That was
Yeah.
really
Thank
good.
you.
Oh, that's on the Patreon page?
Yeah.
Nice.
You don't
Yeah.
go to our Patreon page?
I haven't been once.
Dude, I frequent our page because of all the nice things that people are saying about us.
Hey, go there and check out the new video that James did because it is fantastic.
It is. And
like Jaron said when he showed it to us, it makes us look like we're having a really good time.
And that we're a lot cooler than we actually
No,
We
are.
are having a good time,
we
though.
are having a good time. I don't know about the cooler part, but
Well, I
know.
felt cool
Whoop.
watching it. So, yeah, and that one's not behind any sort of Patreon exclusive wall. That's just our Patreon intro for everyone to see.
that's there to convince you to like us and give us some of the money to help the show.
Can I say, though, that I'm very proud of the content that we've been putting on Patreon. It's almost
think
better than the content that we put out normally outside of our podcast. If that makes sense.
That's a very unique qualifier, very specific.
But just think of like the stuff that we've done on top of our podcast, right? Now backtrack it up a little bit. It's that, but a little bit better.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
I agree. I
Sounds-
think.
sounds good.
Can we have an open before we name our Patreons? Can we have an open conversation about Patreon really quick
Sure.
with you guys and
Yeah.
the audience?
Whatever.
How do we feel about making our Patreon content available after a year?
Timed
of it?
exclusive.
Yeah, timed exclusive.
I'm fine with timed exclusivity.
Because it's like an advertisement saying, this is what you'll see
Yeah.
on Patreon.
Yeah, it's a year. I'm thinking 1 year, and our first one I think we posted either in February or March. So basically, I'm just saying if you're listening to this and you pay for the Patreon, let us know if you have a problem with it. Absolutely, I won't do it. It'll be
Yeah.
100% your guys'.
That's-
You're in
that's
control
good.
of this.
Yep.
And here's the list of the patrons. And a huge thank you to AJ Jasper. He's been the biggest awesome person ever.
And yes.
Yes.
Yes, he has.
And he's even offered to donate something to
The fantasy football.
the Fantasy Football League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah,
We'll
Yeah.
get to it. We'll get to it.
So thank you,
I'll be
AJ
doing-
Jasper, for the Patreon and for that, which we'll be talking about. Thank you so much, David Osuna and Aaron Harris. You guys are awesome as well. Ryan Baker, Lindsay Lucas, Michael Beck, Matt Nelson, Jeffrey Kale, David Broshinsky, Roger Allen, Austin Beauregard, Noob, Dan Clark, Dan Clark, Brian Lee, Conrad Southworth, and Adam Hecht. Thanks, guys.
nailed it.
There was a big week of news.
Oh,
Yeah.
are we all done with... Did you name everyone off?
I did.
Thank you, all you
That's
Patreon.
why I'm not naming them anymore.
Thanks, Patreon supporters. You're the best.
He has the most focus in the group, so he can actually finish a task. But it's always shocking to us because we're like, wait, is
That's
he done?
true.
Is he done?
I agree.
Are we done?
What?
All right,
Exactly.
so real quick, the segment I wanted to start off doing every month, once a month, I want to make a backlog recommendation. So it's going to be games that have been out for quite a while, usually a couple years or more, and you can probably find for cheap.
Cheap.
Super Meat Boy.
No,
I don't like that game.
I haven't played that one enough. I've only played a couple minutes of it. The one I'm recommending this month is actually not Dragon Age, but that is a very good game. It's a smaller game called Hard Reset. This game was made by a company called Flying Wild Hogs, and they have one of the best logos I've ever seen for any company. It's a warthog strapped to a rocket flying through the air. It's pretty good. Anyway,
I guess you have to be there.
you just got to look at it.
Oh, look at that.
See?
It really is.
It's cool looking. So Hard Reset was one of the first games that they did, and it came out in 2011, I want to say. You can find now. I played the remade version of it a couple years ago. They put out a version called Hard Reset Redux. Redo? How do you pronounce it? Redo. And so they went through and they kind of upgraded the graphics and stuff. The gameplay is exactly the same though, and you can find that game normal price now for $20, but you can usually find it on some sort of sale on any console or PC for like $5 or $7. And it's basically a lot like Doom.
It doesn't look half bad. It looks like a mix between like Doom and like Half-Life.
Yeah, so the story is basically just there to give you a reason to go from point A to point B, so don't expect much from the story. The setting's kind of cool.
Is it just a fun shooter game?
Yeah, it's just a lot of enemies coming at you at once with cool weapons. And,
Turn your brain off and just have fun?
Yeah, just turn your brain off and have a good time. It took me 6 hours to beat it all the way through. I beat it this last weekend.
It's on PS4 also.
It's on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And if you can find it on sale for like less than $10, that's a good price for that quality of a fun game.
Well, when I think of like an old game, I think of like crappy graphics, and that's what takes me out of the game like super fast. But I'm looking at the graphics right now, and they don't look bad at all.
This is the Redo version.
The Redo?
And it came out real good. So I recommend that game. That's my what did I call this segment again?
Backlog something.
Backlog
recommendation of the month.
There you go.
Is Hard Reset Redo.
Go check it out.
Looks like it's set in space.
It's fun. That's the fun thing is it's set in like a almost dystopian but not quite mega city style setting. So it reminded me a lot of actually what's that, Blade Runner. The setting reminded me quite a bit of Blade Runner.
I've never actually seen any Blade Runner.
I saw Blade Runner for the first time 2 nights ago.
What'd you think?
Really?
2 nights ago.
I heard it's boring.
It's
It
very
is
slow.
not what I thought it was going to be.
Boring.
I love that movie.
It's awesome. But it is. It's the long investment.
We're getting a lot of descriptors and not a lot of like.
I disagree that it's boring. I didn't think it was boring.
No, it's a slow burn for sure.
That's
It
what
is
it
a
is.
slow
I guess
burn,
that's
and
what it is.
it's not nearly as in your face as
no.
today's movies are.
No,
so
it's
there's a
very-
lot of things you have to pay attention to.
It's quite subtle, and I'm very excited for the new one, 2049.
That
Yeah.
being said, I wasn't as impressed as I thought I was going to be because it's been so hyped up to me.
Well,
But I still liked it though.
plus you have to take into account that movie was made in what 1982.
82.
Yeah.
And at the
Why
time,
did you watch that? Oh, sorry.
Because I've always wanted to see it.
At the time, it was mind blowing.
I recently put that on the Plex. That's why I did the same thing, and I got about. It took me 3 nights to get through it because I have a hard time.
We did it in 2 nights.
I'm so addicted to this age of movie where it's blast 'em, action,
very fast,
whatever. That when I'm like, what is happening? Oh, I have to put brain power into this. I start to.
No, it's
to fall off.
It's fantastic. I really enjoy the whole what makes a person a human, like what makes a person a person.
It's right here. This is what makes you human.
My pecs.
That layer of fat.
So, ouch. What happened to Jaron being nice?
I'm totally into
I
all
said
those
you're a
shows,
free
though.
game. Everyone else I'm being
okay.
nice to.
Fair enough. And then it goes into a lot of that stuff, and it goes into just the setting itself is what I really like the setting.
The ambiance is really
just
cool.
so cool.
Just
The
the
music
vision
was
of
neat.
2019, I think it was.
Yeah.
In LA is really cool. The special effects were good.
For that, right? For
That's
what
the
they
thing is-
were.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, back then you had to do all practical special effects, so it had to look good or it looked
Yeah.
like garbage immediately.
The gunplay was hilarious. I thought.
Yeah.
It's like the ridiculous gunshot sound in
Yeah.
old movies, and they like fly back 100 feet.
for sure. But Blade Runner was one of my favorite movies.
I think Harrison Ford just got interviewed actually about how he's coming back and basically rebooting all of his movies.
Yes,
And
yeah.
I
Indiana
can't
Jones, Star Wars, Blade Runner.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think it was Gizmodo that did the interview, but it's a stellar interview. You should go check it out.
If he does a Jack Ryan movie, that's like
He's got another Indiana coming soon.
Yep.
So anyway, I don't know if they can do anything to redeem a Crystal Skull, but
I
They
did
could
not
just ignore that it happened.
dislike that movie at all.
It wasn't bad.
It was
Instead of-
not bad. And when you look at the other movies in line before you watch Crystal Skull, it really isn't out of line compared to the other Indiana Jones movies.
I think
it's Crystal Skull is just as ridiculous as the other ones.
I think
Yeah.
it's a product of the time that the first three were made.
I agree.
Is the thing.
And
It was
so
very similar to movies made in that era
So without the lens of nostalgia, people hate it.
Yeah. I guess I didn't have that. I wasn't a huge indie fan before.
I was.
But, yeah.
Bless you.
Thanks. So, anyway, Blade Runner. I'm excited for that one coming out. I know you're listening, Twyman, and you can just shut up. Blade Runner's a great movie.
Yeah, Twyman, shut up.
It was hard for me to follow, but that's because I have issues with attention when it comes to thinker movies, and it's definitely a thinker when you get down to it.
Mm-hmm. What was the next thing we were going to talk about?
The Apple event.
Oh, yeah, a lot of news.
Talk about fantasy football.
Oh, yeah, well, let's do fantasy football real quick because that's not going to be a super long one. The Apple
So
event's going to
get
take a
this.
while.
I'm going to put first, before we get started, before I hear any news, because I don't know actually what's going on in the league very much, except that I'm winning.
Hold on, I'm loading it up right now.
I'm gonna
Of course you are, Owen.
I'm going to do the my Sand People celebration, and I wish you could see me.
We need to video that, turn it into a GIF.
It's on our shooting video.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, we got to turn it into a GIF. Somebody out there, turn it into a GIF.
So
I think I'm doing okay. I have some injuries I have to go look at, but I changed some people around on my bench. I moved them around, and I got a notice that said you've got an empty spot, and I put a guy in this spot.
Oh.
I did a trade.
Cool story, Owen.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so happy because I was worried that you were going to lose, like, right out the gate and then just be like, why do I need to waste my time with something like this? It's not even worth it.
I still would have.
So, anywho, we are in the second week. Tonight is the last game of the second week, and Owen is now on a 2-game winning streak.
How come he's not in first place?
He will be after. Well, I don't know if he'll
I had
necessarily.
a
be it after
92%
tonight.
chance of winning. The
So,
game
have you
last
had
night?
a lot of digestive issues, spending a lot of time on the toilet?
Nope. That's why I really don't know what's going on.
The funny thing is you just need to set it either Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah, that's what I
and
do.
then just leave it and forget it.
I
Like
set it.
cryptocurrency, Owen.
No,
Set it and forget it.
That's not how that works.
But right out the gate, you and I played each other, and you destroyed me.
Yeah, I did.
Like demolished. You didn't even feel bad.
I didn't even know.
Completely
I
destroyed.
got a
me.
notice that said that I was getting a whole bunch of touchdowns, and I said, I think I'm beating James.
The funny thing is I took the lowest score in the league last week, and this week I am going to take the highest score in the league.
Oh,
So,
nice.
Anywho, I just wanted to say congratulations.
But I'm still.
And
Am I still winning right now? I'm not in first place
as of right
now,
now, you are at 91, and you are playing the Devastators.
Yeah.
And they are 56. Or, 56.
And
0.62.
AJ Jasper is kind enough to offer a $60 PlayStation year membership.
PlayStation Plus.
Is AJ Jasper
PlayStation
playing?
Plus.
PSN.
I don't know.
Alan? No, I think it was Alan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same guy.
Same guy.
Okay.
Anywho, I'm very happy with our league. Everybody's super active.
Yeah.
Super appreciate it. Again, in your face, Jaron, I filled up a 14-man league.
I like that running joke.
Who's
In
the
your face?
who's the angry one now?
So I'm going to remind you of this.
I don't think that's anger. That's triumph.
Yeah,
Those are
every
separate.
week.
Vindictive.
Like, how not a little bit you believed in me, and I filled up a 14-man league. I probably could have filled up a 20 if
Do you
I
want me
wanted
to bring up the other times where I haven't believed in you
No.
and it didn't pan out?
No.
No, just the one. We'll focus
Okay,
on the one.
all right.
Just one time. I did change my team name to James's Death Babies.
I like
I
it.
think I changed mine to Oh Diggity.
Yeah, yours is Oh Diggity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, congratulations. As of right now, first place, as of right now, is the Death Stalkers. Second place is Insert Football Pun. And third place is, where's third place? Dragonless Danny. Congratulations, top 3, but it's going to get switched up after tonight.
Tonight. I had an injury. I think that I don't know. I didn't go check on that when it happened, so hopefully it's all okay.
Yeah, you just need to just keep up to date on like who's hurt. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're 100% going to win this week.
I think this fantasy football talk is draining the life out of Jaron. Look at him.
Like his face is all
That's
red.
the face that I make when you talk
And
about
see,
graphics cards.
It fills me with joy to see that happen. So I'm just feeding off of it.
Are you talking about my 14-man fantasy football
Yeah,
league?
that one.
Okay.
The one that Jaron didn't believe in.
All right. You want to know what the best part about Jaron is you can tell how mad he's getting by how much you can see the flux capacitor in his forehead.
The vein, yeah, for sure.
No, it's just hot in here.
It's like you're
a little warm.
Yeah.
it's like you're getting up to 88 miles per hour.
I actually feel quite calm.
Yeah.
Well, that's
on
the
the surface.
that took the fun out of it.
That's
On
the new leap.
I just want to talk about the Apple event.
Yeah,
That's
let's
all.
talk about the Apple event now because they they announced a lot of
Oh
stuff.
my gosh! Almost enough to make me switch. And I'm
Really?
a
What?
Android person.
I never thought I'd hear that.
I know.
So-
I mean, I'm not going to. I can't afford that crap. But
That's the thing.
still.
So we tweeted about this, the good, bad, and meh of the Apple event. But let's talk about it in more detail. They started off with Apple TV. Is that right? Or was that the Apple Watch? I think they did Apple Watch.
They started with the
They
TV.
did the TV first.
And then the watch.
Yep.
So the TV was the highlight, in my opinion.
Oh.
Apple TV 4K was announced.
It's definitely the most affordable
Yeah.
thing they announced.
Indeed. So they announced a new Apple TV device, 180,
For the 32
179
gig.
versus the 150, and they're not lowering the price of the current one. They're just keeping it there, the 1080p version. So this new version does 4K. It has an Apple A10X chip in it.
That's the same thing that's in the
Mac-
iPad Pro,
The
right?
Yeah.
iPad Pro, yep.
It's a powerful chip. But it'll do 4K, it'll do HDR, it'll supports 2 HDR standards, HDR10 and Dolby Vision,
And Dolby Vision, yeah.
which is awesome.
Both formats, which is kind
Yeah.
of catches everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I think they're the only box that does both formats at once. I could be wrong, but I might be the only one. It's cool.
They also talked about how they support the new H.265 codec, which is a new form of compression, which is awesome.
And
Natively.
the most awesome part, they finally put a gigabit Ethernet port back into it.
What was it before? Wireless?
100
Oh, it's a 100 by
Ethernet port.
Ugh.
100 megabits per second on the old one, but the new one has 1 gigabit, so I'll be able to get my full internet speeds hardwired into it, which is necessary because 4K streaming takes up quite a bit of bandwidth. But the coolest thing that they announced out of all of this was that all 4K HDR movies will be the exact same price as 1080p movies, and your current 1080p collection would be upgraded to 4K HDR at no charge.
Free.
That blew me away.
That
honestly.
blew me away
Like,
for Apple.
Yeah.
They said that, and I was just like, I was dumbfounded.
I
It
think
was
it's
one of those-
because because they don't want to store both copies, and so
well,
they're
they
gonna-
still have to store both copies.
Yeah.
Because
I think they'll just down res the 4K version for people that don't.
Well, they could do that anyway.
Yeah. Anyway,
But
either way, it floored me.
yeah,
What?
it's a really, really consumer friendly move right there, and it frankly needs to happen because 4K movies are really expensive on other streaming services, and it's awesome that they're doing this. But not all studios have opted in yet.
I think this will drive mass adoption
I
to the
hope so.
Apple device
Yeah.
because nobody wants to go rebuy all their titles.
Right.
Like, this is the difference between me looking at two game consoles, going, that one has backwards compatibility, that one doesn't. Like, I can keep playing all my old games,
Well, I mean, you're right, but you're also not right because it's only the iTunes movies you've bought
True.
that get the 4K
Yeah, true.
treatment.
But in an industry where people are pirating content every day and they're just subscribing to Netflix, not really buying movies anymore, the studios need to embrace this.
They do.
Because reward the people that are actually buying their movies.
And give people a reason to start
Yeah,
buying
yeah.
their
yeah.
movies.
But the only studio that hasn't agreed to this yet is Disney, which is a huge one.
Well, Disney barely does any 4K anyway.
I know
only
they
have one
finally
movie.
Yeah,
They just
that's
started.
true. They just started at 4K.
So, I mean, I think that they'll get on board. I don't think they have any reason to yet because the only movie they have that's 4K is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume
Yeah.
2.
And that's a good movie, though.
It's a great movie.
So I wouldn't expect your whole collection to instantly be 4K though, because studios are still putting out 4K movies. You know how when Blu-rays first came out, it took a while for
Yeah.
the Blu-rays to come out. Similar situation here. So I have a collection of like over 300 iTunes movies, and I think only 10 to 20 of mine will actually be 4K HDR at the moment. So as they release more movies, though, more movies of mine will be upgraded over time. So that's cool.
I think also, too, like, this is good news for people wanting to get into Apple TV, but for the people that already had it, like Jaron, that's my problem, is that I want to get in it. I looked at that and was like, I've been thinking about getting like a new Roku, like new Roku 8, the Ultra or whatever.
Yeah, 4K Ultra.
Yeah, 4K Ultra, but I'm like, maybe I should make a move into the Apple TV, but I don't have anything else inside that ecosystem at all, and
But
so it's really hard for me to kind of jump into there. And
It's good though because they support every major service out there.
That's the big thing.
Yeah,
Is it is finally a box that supports every single big streaming service on the market right now.
They also announced Amazon to be finally coming.
Amazon's
in, right?
on there. Vudu's on there now.
Yeah.
That was the big holdout. Was Vudu
Right.
After Amazon, and so you can play. You got Netflix, Hulu, Vudu, Amazon, and your iTunes movies if you have iTunes movies, and those are the 5 big ones. And of course, you have a lot of the smaller ones like Crackle and Crackle.
You can hook
Yeah.
your Plex,
Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll.
Plex up to it.
Yeah,
And it has a Plex
as well.
app. Yeah. So I had one of the last gen Apple TVs, and I liked it well enough, but it just didn't do anything for me.
It wasn't enough to keep you.
It wasn't enough, and I went and got the Shield TV from NVIDIA. Great little unit, but that Apple TV looks really good. I think I'm going to have to sell my Shield TV and go with an Apple TV again.
Yeah. Well,
the 4K one.
a quick note: the Amazon app isn't out yet. They said it will be before the end of the year.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not planning on doing it right now anyway, but I probably will at some point in the next 6 months or so.
Mine's arriving on Friday.
Ooh.
I'm excited. And the other thing that's arriving on Friday is Apple Watch Series 3.
Oh,
You did it?
I did it.
This guy's buying gadgets left and right.
Right and left,
But-
up and down.
But you're an
that watch-
accountant, though. Why are you spending so much money?
Accountants like money.
I suppose.
But the watch, though, come on, that thing
Looks
was
great.
Pretty cool.
It's cool. So they announced Series 3, and in addition to it having a faster processor, they have a new version that has LTE built into it.
Yeah, built in like you on Sans phone. You don't need the
Yeah,
phone.
but I mean that's not a huge deal. Android Wear 2.0 has several watches that already do that.
yeah,
And honestly, I'm not too excited about it. And the horrible, horrible move that all the carriers did in the United States is that they doubled the price of the smartwatch pricing to $10. It used to be $5.
Oh, I thought it was already 10.
No,
Really?
it used to be $5. Now
Oh,
it's $10.
jeez.
really, they charge $10 to have the data.
$10
the LTE?
for a device that you might use once or twice a month without your phone.
Yep.
What?
That doesn't have a web browser on it, so you won't be using much data. You can't watch video on it, so you won't be using
The only
much
thing
data.
you can do to consume data on it consistently is music.
Yep. It's ridiculous that they're charging $10 a month for it.
What
And
I
when-
what I
and when you-
liked was the tech in it. Like that's what they
No,
broke it apart and how they showed
really
the,
neat.
the tech and the power reduction and like
The
the
pro-
signal
And
increase.
the
It was
cool
pretty
thing, they integrated the antenna into the screen.
into the
Yeah.
screen.
That's
that
really
was really
cool.
cool.
The thing about it though is if you're going to use it to stream audio, you're not going to get a full day's use out of that
No
watch
way.
for
No.
sure.
Not just
So
your
it-
exercise, just your workout.
Yeah, so even with streaming audio, they still wouldn't use that much data, carriers.
Yeah, it's horrible.
They just found a reason to charge people an extra $5.
Yeah. The only advantage I see of getting the LTE version is it has double the memory. So the normal version comes with 8 gigs of memory. The LTE has 16.
Oh, I thought it was 4 on the normal version. It's
No,
8.
It's 8.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was going to get the LTE, but it was back ordered by a month, so I went with the
Oh,
normal.
so you can buy it without the LTE.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And-
I thought it was a package deal. Like if you bought the new Series 3, it came with LTE.
even if you buy the LTE, you don't have to turn it on either.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I would have done.
Yeah.
Has a faster processor. It's going to be a huge step up from what I came from. I had a Gen 1. I sold it after a few months. But other than that, not much has changed with it. It's
got
still
Same-
waterproof.
Same form factor.
It's got the
Same form
altimeter
factor.
now. It can,
It's-
it
yeah,
can go, it can go,
altimeter.
it can go up and down. Check barometric pressure, right? It
Yep.
can do.
It's 2 paper widths thicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was what I
Point
read.
25 nanometers, right? Is that what he said?
Something like that.
So not a huge update. I still wish it had an always-on screen. It doesn't. Oh well. But the big news are the iPhones. They announced 3 of them.
So here's where grapes get soured. I think
Yep.
Yeah.
is this part because the other stuff they announced, I think most of it was pretty cool.
Yeah. So
But the phones,
for the first time, they didn't have an S generation since for the first time since the original iPhone.
yeah, you had 3
Yeah.
iPhone. Well, you had
iPhone-
iPhone.
iPhone 3G, then
iPhone
3GS,
3G,
then
3GS,
they've just
so
been
yeah.
doing the S every
They
generation.
would always do the S as like a half step, though.
Yeah.
Like,
Basically,
they would do
yeah.
it as like a half year release to get people to buy
But
on.
to be fair, the iPhone 7 wasn't that much of a
Yeah,
step up.
it was more like an S squared, the iPhone
Yeah.
7.
right.
But they have an iPhone 8. So they have an 8. They have an 8 Plus. It looks much like the iPhone 7, except it has a glass back. New processors, new camera sensors, all better, all faster, blah, blah, blah.
Now, is it the same in that you could buy a case for a 7 and it would fit on an 8 without
Yes.
any issues?
Yep.
Okay.
The reason they have a glass back now is wireless charging.
Qi charging.
Dun,
Welcome
dun, dun.
to 2014.
they're like, they're like,
Yeah, seriously.
What? Guess what we figured out? There's this thing called Qi charging.
We didn't even have to build it ourselves.
Yeah.
It was already a standard.
They didn't even-
because
yeah, they-
how nice is that you'll be able to set your phone down and charge it on a thing?
that was pretty funny.
I know. I
But-
was
It's
like,
like, come on.
This is really good, though, because they adopted a standard.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
I,
Android
you
and
know,
iPhone are using the same standard.
I'll say kudos to that.
Yeah,
instead instead of patenting and reinventing their own.
So car manufacturers, IKEA, who are all selling Qi chargers, like built into the lamps or built into the car.
It'll work,
and it's wonderful. So that's probably the main thing on the new iPhones.
Well, the A11.
Oh yeah,
the A11 Bionic.
That's a whole separate conversation.
The
right
CPU
there.
is just a monster.
Yeah, it's
Amazing.
the same one that's in the MacBook Pro, right? Or the
no. It's as powerful.
It's
right.
Yep,
That's
as powerful
what
as a
it is.
MacBook Pro.
Yeah,
13-inch
in your hand.
At least that's the
Like
rumors.
yeah,
it hasn't been verified 100% yet, but that's what it's looking like.
What are you going to do with your phone, though, that you're going to utilize that much power?
Right, there's not really anything.
Well, last year's chip was approaching MacBook Pro levels, and with the percentages that they gave at the keynote, it makes sense that it would be beating the MacBook Pro.
We still
right
don't have
now.
official numbers, though. is what I'm saying.
Official numbers aren't out, but there's really no reason to doubt it. But the single core performance is twice as fast as the Samsung Snapdragon 835, which is in all the
Qualcomm.
Android phones.
yeah.
Qualcomm Snapdragon.
Whatever. It's in all the Android phones. It's 50% faster in multi-threaded performance,
Which is a first.
which is a first.
How many
Usually-
cores did this have? 6?
6. Usually Qualcomm beats the Apple stuff in multi-core because it just has more cores.
Yeah, and previously Apple, even though it had 4 cores in the previous chip, it only limited it to 2 cores at once
2 at a time.
for multi-thread performance.
And they created their own core handler for this, right? That's how they're multi-threading
Right.
handler and patented their own for this.
Well,
one.
they've had their own chips since the first gen
Okay.
Yeah.
iPhone. They licensed from ARM and then bought a company. I can't remember the name of the company at the time, but bought a company that did CPU,
P semi something.
something like that, semiconductors. And they've basically just had them as part of Apple now building custom ARM-based CPUs since the very beginning.
And they've been killing it. So
Yep.
now it has 6 cores. They can use all the cores at once. So multi-thread is faster than MacBook Pro. Single core is faster than MacBook Pro. It's just insane in a little device that fits in your pocket. So
that's the 8 and 8 Plus got that too, right?
8 Plus, and the
X, the
10,
10.
or
Yep.
whatever they want to call it. Now, real quick side note: this is also the first CPU system on a chip that Apple has done that has their own GPU built into
that's
it.
right.
So up until this point, they'd always used a British company called Imagination Technologies.
I feel bad for them.
And that's the sad thing is Apple was such a huge part of their revenue each year that they lost over 50% of their revenue by not having that GPU in Apple products.
They had to have seen that coming.
So
that they're
there's
throwing
a
out
couple-
lawsuits now. And
Well, there's a couple of rumors floating around. One that there's going to be a lawsuit, and not just from Imagination Technologies. There's a couple of opinions out there that say NVIDIA and AMD might jump on this because the GPU and the way that it handles information has basically been patented out the wazoo ever since the 90s. So someone coming to the table and saying, we have a new GPU that's 100% us and unique,
They're like,
it's basically impossible
let's
because
take a
there's
look at that.
so many patents that AMD and NVIDIA own on GPUs. So either Apple went through and paid
bought some
rights,
licensing fees.
and if they didn't, they're basically the equivalent of that would be someone coming out today and saying, I've invented a new wheel that does all the same things a wheel does that you are already familiar with, but in a completely different way.
Yeah.
It's just it's impossible. So Apple's done this, and if they haven't bought licensing fees, they're probably going to get sued.
Well, they had to have because the only reason they can design their own ARM chips is because they licensed the architecture from ARM.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out. But I thought it was really neat. I'm all for any sort of new people in the hardware space.
Yeah,
I like the competition.
That's what drew me to this. That's what kind of almost converted me is that this was a big hardware leap.
Yeah.
Like even though it's Apple, which I really don't like their business strategy, even though I think I don't like it because it works so well. But
You're jealous of the monies.
But it was really cool hardware tech this time. Like it was a lot of new that I'm hoping that other people in the industry can use somehow.
That was the other thing too that in some of the articles I read, Apple has a tendency to use a company for a long time to produce like parts for their products, and then they'll say, no, we're doing it ourselves, and either buy the company that was doing it already, Or they'll say, no, we're not interested in buying you. And then after the company tanks, they come in and buy them anyway.
Right.
And, I mean, that's business.
Fine,
and it's
I was
frustrating.
gonna say that's business, man.
It's business, but
speaking-
don't be terribly surprised if you see that happen with
Right.
Imagination Technologies.
Right.
Speaking more on the chip, I was telling Tony this earlier. It's unfortunate that if you want the fastest chip, you can't go on Android.
Yeah, it's frustrating because I wish that there was a little more parity.
Yeah, because like if it was even in the same ballpark,
It's not,
You
though.
know, it would be fine, but it's not. It's such a leap in performance.
It is double or more as powerful
Yeah.
as the current flagship ARM offering for Android.
It made me sad
Yeah.
because I had to finally admit to my wife that the Apple has a better device.
Well, they've
Like,
had better
all-
CPUs than Android stuff for
Yeah, but
3-4 years.
but functionality wise, I've been able to do more with my smaller processor
right.
because it's not as locked down or whatever.
Well,
but
chances are you still will be
It's
able
not
to.
the size; it's how you use it.
See, just like Jaron said.
that's what That's what all Linux people say.
Exactly. No, the truth of the matter is for your smartphone usage, 835 from Qualcomm is still plenty powerful to get
Yeah.
anything done you want. It's just with an Apple phone, you'll be able to do it faster
And have bragging rights.
and have,
Hardware.
big time bragging rights.
Speaking of bragging rights, the iPhone X.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I refuse to call it the 10 because
I like X better too.
they're skipping the 9 just like Windows did.
yeah.
Come on.
7, 8, 9. Do I get to make that joke? No.
Why is
Too
there
much-
no 9?
Yeah.
Because 7, 8, 9.
Anyway, it's an X. It's not a 10. It's an X.
It's an X.
And it sounds so much cooler than a 10.
It does. I agree. iPhone X.
Yeah. Anyway, it's pretty much what the 8 Plus is, except for 2 or 3 things. First of all,
Major things, though.
no bezels whatsoever.
No home button.
No home button. And
Well, there is a bezel at the top, a notch.
A notch.
it's a notch. It's not a bezel. It's a notch.
okay.
They were
whatever.
they were really proud too on showing you how many things they've packed into that
Yeah.
notch.
Well, it's kind of a little bit amazing.
Yeah.
Actually.
So no bezels, has a notch, no home button because of the no bezels, and because there's no home button, there's no Touch ID, no fingerprint reading. So it detects your face, which I think is not a good idea.
Did you see the crash that happened?
Well,
Yeah,
they've
that's-
They explained
they've
it.
explained that away.
There was lots of people backstage holding it, and it locked the phone because so
Yeah.
many people it tried
Well,
to recognize.
you could totally tell because that's the exact same screen you get on your phone when you
when
put
Touch
the
ID doesn't work.
when Touch ID doesn't work.
Yeah.
So if other people are putting their fingerprint into their phone, that's the exact same thing that happens. So
and that's fine. I don't care.
I believe Face ID works. When Apple says something usually works, it usually works.
Right.
The problem is with Face ID, if you ask me, is it's so much easier to just put your thumb where your thumb is used to going and having it open your
Yeah.
phone. Face ID, you got to grab the phone and hold it up to your face.
Right.
I agree. And
When I'm getting my phone out of my pocket, I'm already pressing the fingerprint
Exactly.
scanner as
Me
it's coming
too.
up
And
to
it's
my
ready
face.
to go.
Yeah.
yep.
I don't have to stop and look at it and be attentive and have
Now think
what they
about-
call that audience engagement or
Yeah, and think about
user
this.
engagement.
Suppose that you're on. Okay, I don't advocate using your phone while you're driving, but a lot of people do. And how are you going to unlock it? You're going to hold it up in your field of vision so that you actually block part of the road out to unlock your phone?
Well, they don't want you to do that because they have a new mode in iOS 11 which totally gimps your phone when you're moving in a car.
It's like Pokemon Go for your
You
phone.
turn that off.
Yeah, you can turn it off.
Okay.
Yep.
I mean, I recommend leaving it on.
You can also turn off Face ID.
That's true. You
So-
could use the pin, but
So
still,
I-
it's a pin.
I think Face ID will work well. I'm not convinced by the use cases of it because there's so many times where I'm not looking directly at my phone
exactly.
when I unlock it. So like when it's on a table, when I'm looking at it off center, my face isn't always pointing right at my phone.
Like, imagine you're in a horrible date for you single people out there, and you want to find out what time it is because you want to be done, and you want to send your emergency text or whatever. You got to be like,
This isn't noticeable.
okay, unlock my phone.
Hold the phone up. What are you doing?
And
Nothing.
I don't think it's the actual unlocking part that's going to be the problem, but you have to swipe up after you unlock.
Yeah.
And before, you could just put your finger on the home button and it automatically get past the lock screen. With this, you can't. So, I don't know.
Tech is
Now,
cool.
Yeah, let's talk about the tech
The
for a
tech is
second.
awesome. The notch is basically a Kinect sensor.
Yeah.
It is a full-on Connect from Xbox One.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they've crammed it into that tiny...
With the
of-
IR sensors
Well,
and the pin blast, like the
Yep.
pin
They
blaster.
actually bought the same company that developed the original technology that was in the Kinect.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yep.
That makes more sense. Because, Microsoft sourced that out to a smaller company for the Xbox
Yep.
360, but then they did the Xbox One in-house, the Kinect 2.0. But, yeah, it's the amount of tech that they've miniaturized and packed into there, it's pretty astounding.
Yeah,
honestly.
from a technology standpoint, it's cool what they did.
But from a usage standpoint, I think we can all agree that they kind of at this point we feel like they missed the mark.
They're showing courage.
Well, we can't really judge until it's out.
Like I said, at this point,
yeah. I mean, you'll adapt, obviously, because before when we had passcodes, we were used to the passcode.
True.
So
or you won't, because I remember when you bought your Apple Watch Series 1, how you had to bring it up special to get the screen to turn on, and it bugged you so much that you took it back.
I adapted. I changed the motion of how I lifted my whole arm.
Yep, and you hated it.
I did.
So you got rid of it.
I'm hoping the new one will be better.
Well, and so speaking of that, they got the Pixel 2 coming out. I'm sad I'm not going to be able to make the Courage joke anymore because there's not going to be a headphone jack.
No.
Yeah.
Come on.
I know.
So a little bit more on the iPhone X. The pricing is at $1,000.
Ooh,
So
for
okay,
the base model.
let's talk about that for a minute. Base model pricing, $1,000, 64 gigs of storage. That's basically the only spec at that point that matters, because everything else you can get on the iPhone 8 besides the bezel-less screen.
Well, no, it has
And a slightly better camera.
slightly better camera because the second camera on there is also optically stabilized.
Right, yeah.
So, what do you guys think about that?
I think they should have done away with the Plus
Yeah.
and had the iPhone X at the Plus
So just two models?
price. Yep.
Yeah.
And they should have made the iPhone 8 maybe $100 cheaper.
Interesting.
And they could have put an even lesser chip in the iPhone 8 and made it $100 cheaper, and I think that would have been fine.
People would have still got that.
Yeah.
For sure.
price. I mean, just for the price.
I expected myself to be more outraged at the price, but honestly, I look at it and I'm just like, whatever.
I just hate it because
It's-
it's an anchor.
if
It's an industry anchor, and so
That's
I
the
I
biggest
see
problem.
other providers now going, okay, the 1K barrier's been broken.
Well, Samsung already
Let's-
did that too, though.
Really?
No,
Yeah,
they're
with the Note.
940. It's not
Close
1,000.
enough.
It's not 1,000.
So it's just I feel like it's going to go that way. What do you think, James?
I don't like it. It's stupid.
If you want the 256 model, by the way, no 128 model on either
Yeah.
any of the three.
Nope.
It's 64 or 256.
I'm fine with that. Those are good storage
But
amounts.
if you want the 256, it's 1,150. Here's what I say. Whatever. They're going to charge that much, and it might change the swing of the industry a little bit on the super high-end phones. But on the same note, when you charge that much for a phone and you pack that much technology into it, it's going to trickle down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have the early adopters paying the high ticket price, and then people like me that come in that I'm like a secondary early adopter, where I like the second gen of stuff usually.
Yep.
And I'll get the same features for less money in a year.
I mean, I'm not offended by the price because obviously, if you don't want to pay it, don't buy it,
Right.
whatever. But I think they would have made a much bigger splash if it was the normal iPhone rather than keeping the old style available.
Yeah, I agree. Apple's just they're not interested in doing that, you know.
I just
Yeah.
went, that's really cool tech, but not for $1,000.
Yeah.
That's basically where I ended on that.
Here's the big problem, and I've read several articles that agree with this, and I was thinking about this before I read the articles as well, so go me. But you spend $1,000 on a phone. How much do you spend on a laptop when you buy a laptop usually?
If you want a good one,
About $1,000.
yeah.
Unless you want to go high end, you can spend $1,500 to $2,000.
Yeah.
But for a good Windows laptop, you're looking at about $1,000 roughly.
And you use your phone more than a laptop.
You use your phone more than a laptop, but how long does your laptop last? 4 or 5 years?
It's true.
How long is that phone going to last?
Well,
Hopefully 3.
yeah.
Hopefully 3.
not hopefully. You could easily have it last 3 years. It's just you want to upgrade your phone more often because you use it more often.
True.
My wife's phone, it's lasted 3 years, and it was an old phone when we got it
But,
to begin with.
However, the problem with that is you assume also that you're not going to break it within those 3 years. A
Or
lot of
that
people
doesn't
are
have
forced.
a defect.
Yeah.
Like my
Like
phone.
yours, yeah, with the battery. There's a lot of people that are forced into upgrade because their phone breaks out of the 1-year warranty.
Right
Well,
after the 1-year
A
warranty.
huge
I'll say.
limitation with that is the battery because battery technology isn't up to snuff yet.
That's
so
another one too.
battery technology naturally starts to dip a lot after year 2.
So what
But I don't think that's any single manufacturer's fault. Though.
Well, what I'm saying is, if you're gonna, and I agree with this should apply to Samsung as well. If you're gonna spend $1,000, if you're gonna charge $1,000 for a phone, it better last at least 2 years under warranty. It needs a 2-year warranty.
At least
I agree.
Apple provides software updates up to 3 years.
It's
or
true.
More,
no,
so.
that's good that they do that. And did you see the Apple Care costs more now?
Yeah.
That went up to $200.
Oh no, really?
Yeah,
I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
oh well.
Oh.
But the iPhone X is basically a Palm Pre, and I want it so bad because of that.
It uses a lot of gestures.
They
just
stole
like-
so much
yeah.
from the
Wait,
Palm Pre.
Exactly.
I want it.
We can't pass up the animated. So one genius, one of the people that worked on this project for the iPhone X with the facial recognition or whatever, he was like, so we can basically map people's faces. What if we take this and stitch it to an emoji?
Oh my gosh! I think this is the dumbest thing
The
ever.
they're calling it the animojis.
Animojis.
And you can set you
Is
can
this like
now
those books? Animorphs?
Different.
So
Well,
now you can
yes.
record your face. It maps your face to an emoji. You get to be the emoji. Send a message like "Where are you?" as a fox or a poop emoji or whatever you want to do, and send that on.
It's not perfect, but the facial capture tech in this is awesome.
That is pretty
'Cause,
awesome.
Like up to this point, facial capture tech, you have to put like dots on your face and
Right.
stuff. But this is just doing it all in real time off your phone.
with infrared
It's cool.
dots. I think the tech's really neat, but I think I would do it once and then
I agree.
It's
Never
novel.
use it
It's
again.
totally a novelty
for sure.
But you look at that into the security world a little bit, and that's actually kind of a cool
Oh.
new biometric that you can
Well,
do.
I saw a comic someone posted on I think it was Reddit. Anyway, it showed the facial, what do they call it? Facial what do they call it on Apple?
Face ID?
Face ID. It showed Face ID being unveiled in the first 2 frames, and the second frame showed a guy in a suit watching a computer, and then on the next frame it said NSA on his desk, and it said, "I freaking love these guys."
But for Apple's part, they say that it's stored on the phone.
Right.
It's not uploaded to their servers
Sure.
at all.
Just
Right.
like
Well,
they
okay.
say.
It's in Apple's best interest not to give that information
For sure.
away because they're setting themselves up
But-
as the privacy company.
But the
so.
fact alone that it is recorded at all,
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
could
on
be.
your phone. So
Yeah.
if someone could hack into your phone, they could
Yeah,
theoretically get it.
Yeah, but like
Right.
one of the 3 biggest credit bureaus got hacked, and all of our information's out there.
because
and
that's stored on servers, not the.
But
it
like,
doesn't
phone.
not only that,
matter.
did you read about why it got hacked?
no, I didn't hear.
It was because someone never updated the password on one of their servers.
No, that was another.
Oh, was that a
server.
different
Yeah.
one? Okay.
Yeah, I think they got hacked for another reason, but they found the same company on one of their other servers. They didn't change the admin
The
password.
admin password was just
Fantastic.
admin.
My favorite.
Ridiculous. All right. So, anything else on the Apple stuff?
I think we've exhausted
I
that.
Yeah.
paid you your $50.
Yeah, I won my bet.
What was your bet? I didn't. I
Last year, I bet James that they would not put the headphone jack back
I
in.
thought that was
No
such
way.
a stupid idea. that they
That's
took it
one of
away.
those ideas that didn't pan out that I tried to warn you about. That actually what came true.
They've got way too much. They've got way too much pride to back out after that.
Yeah, that's
There was
exactly
no
why
way they
I
were
knew
gonna back out.
it was a sure thing. You know, you're never supposed to bet on a sure thing, but that was a sure thing.
I'll take that bet.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to buy Destiny 2 with that money.
And he paid it. He paid up.
He did. I
He
told
did,
him he didn't. I
100%.
told you didn't have
Dude,
to.
there's no
He's
way.
a man of his word.
I was
There's
saying
no way
because I knew I was going to win that bet, so I never had any intention on actually collecting. But then you just secretly Venmo'd me the money.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, fine.
Once it enters his Venmo account, it's not leaving.
And I still
Yeah.
owe.
It's like the Hotel
It
California.
is. Yeah, it's done.
I still owe Owen a drink too for winning me in fantasy football this
Yeah.
last week as well.
Some kind of carbonated something.
Yeah, I'll
I just
message
said.
you before
I
the
just
next time
said.
we record.
I just said. Surprise me. Find
Maybe
me.
I'll get you one at the Comic-Con thing, which is going to be this Saturday at the Neaters thing at City Creek from
The meetup.
3 till 4:30.
Not Comic Con.
The meetup.
the meetup
The
at
meetup.
Comic-Con
The,
ish.
the Comic-Con
It's not
meetup.
really at Comic-Con
Not at
either.
Comic-Con.
Adjacent.
I'll make a graphic and throw it up on our
the
Facebook
Gadget
pages.
Spot meetup adjacent to Comic-Con around the same time.
Yeesh.
So, okay, yeah, Apple, it was interesting. I
It's a load of baloney, is what I'm saying. It is. It's baloney.
what's the load?
The fact that they're splitting the classes now. They have an expensive one and a not so expensive
Oh,
one.
it doesn't surprise me at all.
It's so dumb.
They kind of already did that like 3 years ago with the Plus model.
SE.
Yeah,
Yes,
they,
but-
they've done it with the iPads as well. You have the Pro and the
Yeah.
non-Pro. They've done it with their computers. You have MacBook and MacBook Pro. I mean, they're known
I
for
really
this.
thought they were going to use the Pro moniker.
Yeah, me too.
It's surprising that they didn't,
Yeah,
but
Meh.
it's a cool phone. I want it, but I probably won't get it.
If I was going to buy an Apple phone, I would probably just stick with the 8 Plus. I wouldn't.
Really?
I wouldn't get the 10.
Oh, I
X.
want
I
a
wouldn't
smaller
either.
phone.
I don't care about that.
Dude, I
hands.
downgraded from a Plus
Mm-hmm.
down to a normal size phone. Hey, I will never go back to a Plus.
Yeah, it's too big in my pocket.
Yeah, hold it.
I have too many things in my pocket vying for space. So
I had to switch back on mine to thumb tapping because I can't swipe.
I don't like the swipe text thing.
No.
Huh. You guys are all lame.
Also, I dictate a lot now, so
Right.
All right. Moving along from the Apple stuff.
nobody appreciated my joke.
I didn't hear it.
Never mind.
Okay. Sorry.
Somebody will. They'll write in. If you heard Jaren's joke, please write in to our
It
email
must have
account.
been a bad one.
I got cell phone news.
Yeah, let's have some cell phone news
So-
from Owen.
So Tony sent me this WCC Tech article, and it was basically Google. You can get a new phone. So I got the Nexus 6P. It's basically the best phone I've ever owned, and I love everything about it except for about almost exactly at my 1 year over warranty mark. Like at my 1 year warranty mark, it started having battery problems.
what's a battery problem?
So it would get down to 15% and then say low battery, chime at me, and then shut down.
And it also wouldn't charge all the way.
And then it wouldn't charge up all the way. And then it also had the issue that if you got in temperatures below 40 degrees, it would just randomly shut off. So I was out in my
Jeez.
garage in the winter trying to get the snowblower out, and I went to go check my phone, and it said it had 82%, and all of a sudden it just popped, shut down.
Jeez.
So they knew that, and they got a lot of crap because Huawei, did I say that right?
Yeah.
That's way back when I got burned by Jaren by that, so now I have a complex. See your
A Huawei complex,
Your-
along
your-
with your gray clothing.
your insults last, Jaren.
They cut deep.
They
cut deep and the wound stays.
Leave scars, bro.
Yeah.
Bruh. Anyway, so Google was saying it's a hardware problem, go contact Huawei. And Huawei was saying it's a Google problem, contact their support. And you just got the runaround. I actually got the runaround, and I just gave up. I was like, whatever. And looked into replacing the battery and looked at all those other options. Well, it comes out, this article that Tony sent me.
Did you replace the battery?
No. So this article that Tony sent me is basically Google making good on this. What happens? You call into their tech support now. My phone's basically a year and a half past, so I've had this phone for 2 years now, a little almost. And you call in, you tell them I've already tried to reset, I've already tried to factory wipe, and I've already cleared my cache. I'm still having these battery issues where the phone dies at 15 to 25%. And the technician on the other side, I did it through chat, will be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, let me check real quick. Sir, I have good news. I have been authorized by my superiors to give you a new phone. And guess what? ... It's a new Pixel XL." So, yeah, so I was
Best
like,
news ever.
and
Open it.
and it totally worked. And so I got it shipped. It's here.
Came today.
Open it.
It came today.
We have it here.
and we have it
A
here.
live unboxing.
You're gonna hear it open.
of a year-old phone. Here
What
we go.
happened? Open it.
We're gonna unbox this. I hope that it's gonna be more difficult than I anticipate.
Open it. Hey, Jaron, what happened to your arm?
I
got a
did
big cut.
I did man work.
What does that mean? Like in the yard?
Yeah.
Is your landscaping done yet?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Got done last year.
I need a knife. I told you.
You can't do it?
You got it, buddy. Look at those fingers. Look at how strong they are. You can tell he's a typist.
My knife's downstairs.
There's another box
I should have said manscaping. Dang it.
That would have been different.
Lost opportunity.
There it is. Pixel
Oh.
by
Let's get
phone
the
by
slow
Google.
clap started.
That doesn't have an XL next to it, though.
That does not. It might be in trouble. I might be in trouble.
Did you get a regular?
I don't know.
That's embarrassing.
I would take the regular over the XL,
No.
honestly. They're
There's the XL.
Pixel XL 5.5 inch, 32 gigabyte.
Hold on. Before you open it, how disappointed were you when you didn't see an XL there? Just like for a half a second.
Not very.
Really?
Yeah, I would have taken a new phone. I'm sick of the battery issues.
Oh, all right.
But I would have gone and given them crap.
good on Google.
It is really good. And
Finally.
Standing by their products.
It worked for me. It's worked for a couple buddies of mine. So if you have the Nexus 6P, or if you know anybody who does,
Hey,
I tried
Owen.
to talk one of my buddies into it, and he wouldn't do it because he wasn't experiencing the problems yet.
You have buddies outside of us?
Yeah.
Owen, can I borrow
said-
your phone for
I
a little bit?
Don't let him touch it. He will rub it all over his crotch
No,
region.
your old one. Yeah, let me borrow that for a
He'll
few days.
probably still do the same thing.
Oh, there it is.
I want to hold it.
It came brand new with all the cables.
Once you get done.
So
Yeah, brand new box.
Brand new box. It's brand new.
I'm excited for the new Pixel.
I think it
That's
will be
coming
pretty
out.
cool.
So
Yeah.
I was actually waiting for that phone to come out because I can't stand the battery issues, and so
But
you
now-
but you got this phone for free.
I got
Yeah.
this one for free. This will be.
$350.
You know what you should have done? You should have sold it and applied it to the new Pixel.
I could have done that until about 8 seconds ago.
Yeah, too bad you opened it.
Thanks.
That's a shame.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's not like I didn't have that thought 5 minutes
Well,
ago.
you have to send. So here's the.
You have to send the phone, his other phone back.
So here's the hook for this deal.
Oh yeah.
Here's the one caveat. You have to have a credit card that
Don't give it to him.
that you have to have a credit card that can handle an $820 authorization charge.
Right.
Because they auth against you, and then you have to send the old phone back, and then they determine that whatever, and that they get the old phone back. It's like basically an RMA, and then.
Ooh, it feels nice.
As soon as they verify it, you get the auth charge reversed or whatever. The auth is dropped off, and you're good to go.
It's got a good feel in the hand.
Yeah.
I've actually heard the battery life's pretty bad in Pixels. Can I see it?
Are you going to put it on your crotch?
No, I am not going to.
Look at that
What
smile.
kind of sick person
He's gonna
would
do
do
it.
that?
Don't
Jaren,
Don't hand it to him.
Jaren, right now,
I give you my word that I'm not going to do it.
Do what? He didn't specify. He's gonna do it.
he
No,
said
I'm
he
not.
he said he wouldn't.
Ooh, that's nice. I like that back.
The glass back. Now, so this has a 1/3 glass back. So
Yeah.
just imagine that the whole thing for iPhone.
Yeah, but they say their glass is ultra strengthened now. Whatever.
Yeah.
that
What does that
means.
even mean?
You know what's interesting? Speaking of that, is I watched a video by Jerry Riggs Everything.
I love that guy.
He's
Yeah.
got a good YouTube channel.
He does, and he has some. He has enough money to buy some really new gadgets and rip them apart.
He just tears them apart. And on this one that I was watching, he did a drop test for the new Essential phone, which has a ceramic back and a glass front. And he dropped that thing probably 5 or 6 times straight onto concrete from waist high and head high, and the ceramic never even got scratched.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Wow.
awesome.
It was incredible. Now the front got destroyed. The glass on the front,
Yeah.
which is Gorilla Glass 5, just
It'd be so
completely
nice if
shattered.
we could get quartz into phones. Phone
the guy that
screens.
does the Essential phone was the original
Andy
Android.
Rubin, yeah. So, yeah.
Got a nice-
Congratulations, Owen.
Got a
Yeah.
nice phone there, Owen.
I hope it works out. I mean, I hope they don't look at my other phone and be like, no,
This isn't bad
this
enough.
isn't bad enough, and charge me the $820 because I would really have just rather paid that for the Pixel
No
2
kidding.
in a month. So anyway,
All right. Next on the Gadget Spot, we're going to talk about some Switch. We're going to do some video gaming talk. So real quick, Microsoft is releasing an update to the Xbox One, which will supposedly greatly help with small hard drive problems. Not problems that are small on the hard drive, but the fact that hard drives are too small on the Xbox One.
Oh.
Define too small of hard drives. What size hard drive are we talking about?
Any hard drive, really, because now the Xbox Ones originally came with 500 gigabyte hard drives.
Yep.
You can get them now with up to 2 terabyte, I think. One for sure. But the nice thing about it, too, is you can just throw a USB hard drive on there, and it works just as good as an internal. That's what I did. I bought an external drive.
same.
But if you don't want to do that or don't have that option, or it even apply this fix will apply to those hard drives too, I believe. Xbox has rejiggered the way that they do the hard drive.
Basically, the paging file
It's
is
basic-
kind of the idea.
kind of.
Is it from the middle out?
It's not a middle out algorithm.
Dang it.
Silicon Valley reference there. Well done. So basically, supposedly now when this update goes live, Microsoft servers will only load up the information onto your hard drive for the games, the information that you need that are pertinent to the games you're going to play.
As long as the developer supports it.
There is that caveat. So basically, though, it's going to break up things like in Call of Duty, you don't have to download the entire game anymore. If you just buy it for multiplayer, then it will only download the multiplayer part of the game.
So you can specify what part of the game you want to download?
Yep.
Theoretically. If
Theoretically.
the developer supports it.
So there'll be that. Or if you only want to do the single player, you can only download the single player. Or you can download both and decide later on, I'm done with the single player, I'm never going to play it again, and just delete the single player part.
And this is a huge need when the One X comes out because all the new games will support 4K textures, which are gigantic.
Yep.
And if you have a normal Xbox, you don't need to download those 4K textures, which
So
is good.
it's even to the point where Oh, yeah, this reminds me. It will work for sure on external drives because they were saying you could take your external drive from an Xbox One with your games loaded on it, plug it into an Xbox One X, and it'll recognize that game and say, hey, we need to grab the 4K textures for it. And so it will download the 4K textures for that game automatically as it's recognized. And then when you go back down to the Xbox One, it will delete the 4K assets because you don't need them anymore.
I don't need them.
So it's theoretically gonna free up a decent amount of hard drive space, so you'll be able to fit more than like 4 games on your hard drive.
Wasn't Gears of War 4 like 100 gigabytes?
Gears of War 4.
I almost bought that game the other day. It's on sale right now for like 24, 25 bucks.
That's a good game. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I have it on my PC, and I have the high-res textures and everything. It's 92 gigabytes, I think. It's just massive.
Huge.
So it's going to be roughly the same size for the Xbox One X. But that's kind of neat. It's nice to see a company kind of thinking outside the box rather than just saying, you need to buy a bigger hard drive. They're saying, no, well, we can use some software tweaks to make this a little bit better for you. Secondly, on gaming news, I've already played one of these games anyway, but this still really excited me, even though I'm not
super excited about this.
Even though I'm not going to get them on the Switch, because I played these games on PC because they look really pretty. Bethesda announced that Doom and the new Wolfenstein game is coming to Switch.
This is so cool.
This is very cool.
Finally gives me a reason to play.
Yeah, exactly.
So you guys haven't played the Doom game that came out last year?
I also have not played Skyrim.
This is a game that I'm not so interested in. I have to have the best graphics on.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in enough where I want to get it on the Switch because I'll be able to finally play a first-person shooter.
Are they going to be $60 out the door?
That's a good question.
Probably.
Probably.
Lame.
But it's worth it. That game is so good.
Are there any other games that you guys have played on Switch yet that have been like surprisingly fun that aren't like first?
Nah.
Nope.
First party.
Anyway, like when I'm on the go, this will be perfect because it has online multiplayer, first-person shooter.
Yeah.
How often are you on the go?
Like when I go to my parents' house.
Is this a first for the Nintendo to come out with a first-person shooter of any kind on their devices?
No, they've had first-person
definitely not.
They had Doom on the original SNES.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's true.
They also had another version of Doom for the N64, which is a very good and new.
That's true.
Doom, actually.
I played GoldenEye on.
Speaking of Doom. Real quick, there's a DF Retro about Doom that came out the other couple days ago. It's an hour long, but it is so good.
It's cool.
I really, really enjoyed that one. It's only Doom 1 and what's the word? Wouldn't make it for other platforms.
Cross-platform compatibility?
Ports?
No, ports, yeah. Doom 1 and the different ports from it.
This news about the Switch, though, is very encouraging because it's a major publisher supporting it, and Nintendo hasn't had this in years.
Not only it is a major third-party publisher, but these are major games, too. Like, these are games you'll find on every other system, not just something they decided, we'll make this little game for the Nintendo system.
Did they come out on the 360 and the PS3, Doom?
Yeah. No. Xbox One and PS4.
So, there you go. That's even better because they're supporting a game that wasn't on lesser-powered hardware.
Yeah, first.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, I'm probably not going to play it on Switch, but I'm really excited that it's happening.
I don't think I'm going to pay full price for it. I'll wait for it to come down a little bit, but I'm definitely going to get it on the Switch.
The first Wolfenstein game they had come out from the reboot, like 2 or 3 years ago? That game's fantastic.
I loved that game when it was originally the
old
release.
School.
Oh, man, I cut my teeth on that game.
Yeah.
That was the first one I was like,
me too.
What is this? Secret rooms that you don't know about?
I could
shareware, man.
Yeah, shareware, right?
The shareware CD that included Wolfenstein, Commander Keen, Duke Nukem. Great stuff.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Old PC gamer stuff.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's good times. So, but yeah, as on a related side note, I'm very excited for the new Wolfenstein game because I really liked that first one.
I'll probably get that on the Switch too.
So yay for that.
Speaking of that, did you hear? There's an article that came out in Gadget that said that. So you know that one of the things that Jaron has been talked about before is like an emulator, and we've all kind of talked about it, like an emulator on the Switch, right? Did you see that story?
Virtual console.
Yeah,
virtual console. So they took it. They've basically been looking at it, and there's a Nintendo Switch is secretly hiding a copy of NES Golf on the Switch, which means in order to do that, they would have to have this emulator in place, and they haven't talked about it, but apparently it's been there since version 1.0 of the firmware.
And what's cool about this is it supports Joy-Cons motion control.
Yeah, exactly.
Not the original crappy, terrible controller of the original Nintendo.
The title in question is dubbed Flog, and it looks just like Golf, the 1984 sports sim for the NES, and it's our first glimpse into the fabled NES emulator. Yeah.
I should say, when they get that rolling with Virtual Console on the Switch.
Oh, I'm so excited for that.
To me, like, that's going to be great for nostalgia and everything. And honestly, it'll be a license to print money for Nintendo. Many people are going to buy a lot of those old games.
I'll buy probably all the Zeldas, one of the Super Smash Brothers, a few of the Marios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just look at that and go, yeah, but doesn't this take the wind out of this mini thing that's going on? That was Jaren popping the airbags from my shipping package.
Don't act surprised. You knew what would happen.
Not that quickly.
Don't you think that would be take a little bit of the wind out of their sails about the Nintendo, the mini NES or whatever it is,
SNES Classic,
SNES Classic, and the NES Classic?
Totally would.
It would a little bit, but not as much as you're thinking. I think because the SNES Classic isn't portable, the Switch is portable.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of people out there that will buy the SNES Classic and still buy the same game to go play portable.
Right. I bought an SNES Classic and I still don't know why.
See.
The NES
Have you
Classic,
gotten it yet?
they're printing some more money next year.
That's
right?
another thing. The NES Classic has been confirmed to be coming back next year for sale.
I just call that printing money.
Yeah, that's
they're just
basically
printing
what it
some
is.
money next year.
So I read an article, I think, from the president of Nintendo of America. He was saying how they didn't produce enough NES Classics because they honestly didn't think it'd be that popular. Because they looked at the market for current retro hardware, and it wasn't that great.
Oh, that's true.
And so they thought, we'll put out a few, we'll get some money on this, but it was just...
Sure.
We're
going to recreate something that all of you guys used to love, growing up in your formative years. And we're going to make it look exactly like that, but really cool and small.
You're such a cynist, man.
It's marketing.
What they needed to do is look at all the crappy
exactly.
movies. What they need to do is
One
look at
person
all
at a time.
the movies. They needed to look at Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, horrible movies that were remade, and just say, wow, people used their money on that? And they would have known.
That would have been a...
They just need to look at nostalgia.
I mean, they look at the Sega Genesis, which was a huge competitor at the time, and all the remakes of that have been flops.
Yeah, they've been not sold well. They've also been crappy quality, though.
They're also not
part.
Nintendo.
That also.
It's true. So it does surprise me a little bit, though, that they're going to go back to that well. Usually Nintendo, once they've said they're done doing something, they're done.
Yeah.
Like they don't go back and reprint it.
Yeah.
But they're going to, and they actually announced as well, they're going to start reprints of some of the Zelda amiibos that they haven't sold certain ones for a couple years. And they're going to start remaking a few of those as well. So
I think what happened was the accountant finally got a meeting with the president.
Guys, look!
And said, hey, we got money. Let's keep doing it.
I've got this license to print money. Can I use it? Okay.
I'd be very curious to know what it costs to make an NES Mini Classic.
It's got to be almost nothing.
I can't bet. I can't believe that it'd be more than $15.
I know. The margin on that is ridiculous.
It's got to be at least a 200% margin. 'Cause they only sell them for what, $70 or $60, and it maybe cost them $15 to make. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
License to print money. That's all I'm saying.
So, well, yeah, I'm getting one.
Yep. NVIDIA.
I feel
like NVIDIA and AMD are kind of in the same boat with their GPUs for all the miners and gamers out there. Like they don't want to saturate the market, but they have this license. Like if they just if they just upped production, they would sell.
Yeah.
But
well, the one problem, I've read a couple articles that say this. The one problem with NVIDIA and AMD doing that, flooding the market, is when cryptocurrency eventually becomes it falls out of vogue.
Yep.
You're going to have
flooded market
of all these used cards, and then they won't sell a single new one for 2 years.
They're trying to protect the secondary market a little bit.
Exactly.
You took the bait, Tony. You took it.
I started talking about cryptocurrency.
I threw it out there, and I was like, let's see if I can catch a Tony. I've got a Tony.
You caught a shiny Tony.
I was like, let's just throw this out here into the pond of Gadget spot and see what I catch. Oh, a wild Tony.
I'm shiny?
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, let's talk also about some cross-console gossip.
Oh, yeah. So
I read this, too.
Yeah, wasn't that cool? So the PS4. So I've done, after reading this, I actually did a little bit of quick research just because I didn't know that it was I didn't know it was PlayStation. That was Sony that was the holdup. Mm-hmm. And then I remembered that was it E3 one time that Xbox was basically like, come on, let's do this.
Yeah.
Like they came out and said, let's do this. So We're gonna just read this real quick. I'm gonna reread it because I want to get it here. But there was a Reddit user that noticed somewhere he was playing Fortnite, and he noticed that one of the people in his party or whatever had a space between the name of their username, and spaces are not allowed in the PSN network,
as it shouldn't be.
And
spaces are an abomination.
What right they are.
Yeah, they really are.
I agree. I completely agree. How confusing you could have funeral taters or funeral space taters. It's the weirdest, dumbest thing ever.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that name is the weirdest, dumbest thing ever.
Not that name, just the concept.
Oh,
you were mean again, Jaron. Bottle it up.
You lost it. You didn't even make it through an episode.
I threw that out there to see if Jaron would take the bait.
Thank you.
I threw that out there to see if Jaron would take the bait, and I knew he would.
Owen tricked me.
I did.
You know what? I feel bad about him making fun of your name. Go ahead and open that chocolate orange and just make sure you give the rest to Megan. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Owen,
so
you're a horrible human being.
I know.
Hold up. So what I'm looking at, what I'm thinking about right now, you guys have been caught up on Rick and Morty. I'm going to try to get this off of cryptocurrency.
We're not even talking about.
We're talking,
you need to pay attention. We're
talking
talking about cross-console multiplayer.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But like what I'm saying is, I think Owen's been pulling the strings here for quite a while from behind the scenes.
Yeah, I think he's a mastermind.
He is evil Morty. He's got to tuck those wires up into his right eye. He only pretends to wear glasses. That's actually an advanced form of Google Glass.
Mm-hmm. So I can record and I track all of your body language and basically
and you watch it later.
Mm-hmm. I was really hoping you'd crack that on the door frame, not in the middle of the podcast while we're recording.
That wasn't bullets going on. That wasn't gunshots over here.
You already did it, James. You don't need to do it again.
Yeah.
It probably still needs it.
Well.
What did you do?
Moron.
You get chocolate all over my door frame.
Did you hear that, James?
Nothing.
Nope. No, he didn't, Jaron.
Did Owen called you?
No, I didn't.
Just rewind that, listener. You'll hear what it was.
What did you call
me? He just called you a moron in the most mean voice ever. Like you really meant it.
Jaron's
not like me when I don't mean it.
Anymore.
Jaron's tattling on me, and no, I didn't say that.
You've smacked it. Now you have to eat it.
Cracked the butt of it.
Well, open it from that end. That solves the problem. That's easy.
He said for the second time today.
That's weird.
So I just want to follow up on that. So this guy freaked out. He's like, "Can we do this?" Because we've long suspected that this is as simple as flipping a switch or writing it into the game. But it's easy. It's not as difficult as everybody has said it is.
The whole thing behind no cross-platform play has just been the companies. And for a long time now, it's just Sony saying we don't want you to
intellectual
be able to do
property.
Yep.
Anyway, so
well, the next generation, when Sony's suffering and Microsoft is winning, maybe they'll change their mind.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
yeah. Well, and so it says, given Sony's hardline stance about letting people on different consoles play together, it's probably the former. So they talked about how that this is pretty easy to do, and that it's been talked about how this is just a hang up on Sony, which it totally is, and. They said, we had a configuration. This was the response from them. We had a configuration issue and has now been corrected. That's why
they saw that for a few hours.
It was so easy. It was an accident.
And they were like, so from the time
just
this happened. Just like
children.
So this happened. This story broke like 2 hours ago or 3 hours ago or something. And they're like, from the time you noticed it until now, we've corrected the problem.
Code's already been changed.
How easy is it for them to change it? If they can revert it back that fast.
Well, the weird thing, anyway. Historically, this is not a first. Sony actually had cross-platform play with Steam for Portal 2 on the PS3.
Oh, that's right.
And they already proved that they could do that. It's just that they don't want to play nice with the competing console.
Yeah.
And they're in a position right now where worldwide PlayStation 4 has outsold Xbox One by almost double.
Yeah.
That they can just say, no, we don't want to. And it's like, okay, fine.
But
why tastes old?
Why?
Well, it is
why
old.
is PlayStation? What gives PlayStation the competitive edge over Microsoft in that regard, hardware wise?
Japan.
Well, originally it was cheaper and more powerful, 50% more
exactly.
powerful.
Okay.
Not to mention, just like James said, is actually Japan in this case and Europe. If you go to,
I thought it was mainly just Japan and the Asian countries because of the games that were coming.
And didn't they also
to that console?
And didn't they also they did that slim move, and that's a big thing over culturally. The slim consoles were like a big thing.
Because they need that extra inch in their studio
It's
apartments.
a thing.
Is it really?
But
Yeah.
Microsoft did that too with the
And
Xbox One X.
Did they really?
Or S.
Did they slim it down?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the S
okay.
is much smaller than the regular Xbox.
And I think
One.
recently PS4 has better exclusives.
I would agree.
Depending on what kind of
you know,
games you're into.
That's also true. I mean, there's a lot of factors. So
I've got my heart set on the Xbox One X because
I'm
of
so
Halo.
excited for that.
Mm-hmm.
I want one of the pre-ordered ones because it comes with the awesome moniker of Scorpio or
Yeah.
Scorpion
I'm getting it.
instead of having to get these blah ones after the fact.
It's got Project Scorpio etched
Scorpio,
into
right.
it, as well as a kind of a neater paint job on the box too.
I
I'll
want
sell
one.
it to you.
Okay, for the same price.
No.
I hate you.
Jeez, it's getting cutthroat in here. Let's see, James.
Uh-huh.
Didn't you have something else you put in here?
Yeah, I had This Week in Tech, but we already covered most of it.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Did you do your top Google searches?
Nah.
Okay, we'll do that next time, I guess. Now, we always at some point in our podcast end up talking about Elon Musk or Tesla. Here we go again.
Yep.
Because
He's my new Tom Cruise.
he's not Amber Heard's Tom Cruise anymore.
No.
Oh.
Which she must be like a terrible person, because why would you ever break up with Amber Heard? She's gorgeous. Holy cow.
Well, let's
I
not.
think it.
I did go look that up,
Yeah,
and
I'm not
you're
gonna
not wrong.
speculate.
Let's rewind that and take it back.
She's not a terrible person. I just can't figure out why he would break up with her. Anyway, so Porsche announced a new electric, I guess it's a supercar. Not really. I mean, it's a high performance car, but they're pushing into the Tesla territory because you'll be able to get the base model for $80,000.
85.
And the base model is actually seems like it'll be a little bit nicer than the base model of the Tesla. It's going to have higher range, and
When does it come out?
I believe the article says that it's rumored to come out in 2019.
Oh, well, we'll see what Tesla does in
So
2019.
That's
then.
true. We're still 2 years out, but this is the first time, if you ask me, any other manufacturer of electric vehicles has come to the table and said, we're making this that actually looks like it could be able to compete with Tesla. Because you got people like the stuff Nissan puts out, that's a totally different kind of car. The stuff Chevy puts out, totally different kind of class of car. The only people that are left that have tried is Fisker, and that failed miserably.
Wah, wah.
And then you have the people who say that they've been working on an electric car forever, but they still don't have anything besides a couple of prototypes to show off, which is Faraday Futures. And those guys are all talk. It's all vaporware.
I'd love to be in one of these cars. They're talking about how it gets up, 62 miles an hour in less than 3.5 seconds and 124 miles an hour in 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in an electric car?
Yes.
It's weird. Since I'm a mechanic guy, I rely on the RPMs in the engine, and I use that
Right.
for my driving and everything. I got an electric Ford Fusion one time and almost wrecked it because I couldn't hear the engine, and
Are you blind?
well,
Am I moving?
it was granted it was at night, but I stepped on the gas and just instantly.
Were the lights on?
Yeah, they were. But I stepped on the gas and instantly was just going. Like, it just jumps you forward. It doesn't have to shift gears and do all that. Anyway, it's crazy.
Yeah, the acceleration
That's
in the
my-
Model S is just insane.
Yeah,
It pushes you back against the seat.
that's what
It
I've heard.
feels like a roller coaster. One of the really fast roller coasters, like the Superman in what's it called? Six Flags. Yep.
Yeah, I've been on that thing. That was crazy. Who put this story about the Wype?
Oh, this is me. This is awesome. So this is a new Kickstarter, and it's for all you people that like to eat snacks by your computer,
Which I do.
particularly the cheesy kind.
I've sworn off Cheetos by the keyboard. Won't
Read the header, please, of this.
Admit it. You live at your desk and your hands are filthy.
This
you need
finger
this.
mop will clean your hands, but never wipe away the shame. I need this. I need
Yeah.
this thing.
So it's a upside down mop,
Yeah,
kind of.
is what it looks like.
Yeah, it's made of microfiber. It has like these little
Tentacles
almost come out.
Look like
It looks like a car sham, like
Right.
like you wax your car with it.
or a flat sea anemone.
But you pay $15 for the base and 3 covers, and it'll wipe away all the dirt from your fingers, so you can go back to your computer. It's awesome.
Man.
It's a great idea.
It is a good idea.
No, it's
but
not a good idea. This is a horrible idea.
That's a wipe with a Y.
Yeah, WYPE. A better idea? Just don't eat Cheetos by the computer. That's a better idea.
Or eat them with a fork.
You know what I found actually works the best for me is I just pour them straight into my mouth from the bag.
That's the best way.
Because
is there some cheese particulates in your beard afterwards?
Yeah, you got to clean that out.
But if you're in an intense game, that can be a problem. I
Yeah.
mean, if you got to munch between gunshots, then you might need to get this because tipping your head
That's
up,
true.
you'd be
You're going to lose track of the
line
screen.
of sight. You're
not
done.
not only that, what happens if you pour too much out because you're in a hurry? You're covered in Cheetos.
I mean,
all over the couch.
This has other potential nefarious machinations as well. You could clean up other things.
I mean, it definitely works better than a paper towel.
Yeah,
Or a napkin.
totally.
Does it?
And it's
tissue.
washable, so it'll last forever.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Are you kidding me? It's awesome.
Are you serious?
James-
This looks like from Star Trek. What are those little things called?
It's that futuristic.
It's not a tribble.
Tribble, yeah.
Tribbles look like hamsters without heads or feet.
But they're not even close to their goal yet, which I thought they would be.
Their video isn't even formatted in the correct format.
They're halfway there.
Look, it gave out like halfway through.
How long has it been? This might be one of those Kickstarters that does meet its goal just because people think it's funny, not because people think it'll be that useful.
Hey, you disgusting freak! I bought you this.
Yeah, or just I love the irony of this, so I'm going to buy it. I don't know.
Or maybe a school will adopt it. Who knows? And they'll be like, everybody must do this before they touch a keyboard.
You're right. That video does go kind of weird halfway through.
Yeah.
That's a warning sign right there.
Yeah.
I think this
Hey
guy's
guys,
been eating...
hire me. I'll keep the resolution the same throughout the entire video. I promise.
27 days to go, and they're at just shy of 8,000 of their $15,000 goal. They're going to hit it.
Well, given the quality of this post on Kickstarter, I'm kind of
They
worried
might
about
not.
it.
I need
Maybe they won't.
I need to dig into Kickstarters more. I got shamed away from them by Tony in the early days.
You know what?
Because you brought like 5 to every episode.
Yeah, yeah. We were originally doing the kick it or keep it routine. And
You.
Was this before
Sorry,
I joined?
I flipped the M there. Yeah, it was just me. Thanks for
Turn that
remembering.
W upside down.
Yeah. Anyway, so
That's a good saying. Turn that W upside down. It goes from we to me.
Uh-huh.
That's good. That's good.
Did you just make that up?
I did.
That's gold.
yeah,
Just
Hold
like the
on.
color of your shirt.
Yeah.
slow clap. No, more like a golf clap.
Just me? Okay.
Yeah.
That's all good.
Okay, let's see. We've already done the crypto update.
Oh yeah. They shut down their exchanges and everybody's panicking.
Yeah.
So
There's your update.
if you're mining other coins, they're all in the crapper too.
I'm gonna back the Cyanide and Happiness game right now. I do.
All right. We talked about the Switch stuff. I don't care about Kevin Hart's mobile game. Do we care about Kevin Hart's mobile game?
It was
No.
it was
No.
gaming news technically,
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, don't.
We
Wait,
just-
this is an Owen joint?
Yeah, I put that on there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I
Shall
put some
we-
gaming news on there.
Shall we talk about it or
No.
slide on
Nope.
by?
Yeah, that's
Slide
all
on
we
by.
needed. That's all we
Okay.
need to talk about
We'll
right there.
slide on
Slide
by.
past first. Does
It
that work?
exists, and
About
there you go.
that.
Typing with your brain?
Oh yeah. Let's talk about that, and maybe before we hit on that, real quickly, Bose has a pair of headphones coming to Best Buy that have Google Assistant built in.
Yeah,
There you go.
So it's their Quiet Comfort 35s, right?
I think so.
Yes,
I have those
QC35s.
headphones.
Yeah, it's the
They're
upgrade
nice.
from those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So is that where we're going? We're going that first or what?
well,
Type with your mind.
Is there anything else to talk about with those?
So the article raised a good question. Why would you need the headphones with Google Assistant in
don't.
them?
Yeah,
What?
because you're paired with your phone anyway.
Yeah.
Or a
Doesn't
computer?
your phone handle all the smart features?
Yeah.
Like talking?
Yeah, it should.
Can't you just put a mic in there?
Because it doesn't have LTE built into it.
No.
I can guarantee that.
No. It's just going to connect. It's like double it's like double smarting your phone.
What do we call that?
The double wrap.
We call that
Okay.
creating answers for problems that don't exist.
Anyway,
Solutions.
Well, maybe if you have an iPhone and you really wanted the Google Assistant.
I
Maybe?
guess maybe that yeah.
or what if you pair to your computer?
Yeah, but you're at your computer, just type.
That's a good point as well.
Yeah.
So we have a solution to a problem that doesn't exist still.
Anyway,
All right.
September 22nd, you can pick them up in there. Google has not talked about this at all. They're just kind of quietly letting this.
Maybe
roll out.
because
If you guys want to do that, sure.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
They
be my guest.
they just don't care.
There's some garbage we were going to chuck out, and Best Buy's like, please,
Can we put that on our shelves?
please let us sell it.
Please?
We need anything.
Yeah, all right, fine.
Anyway, So typing with your brain, what's that
Yeah,
about?
so normally if you want a brain-machine interface, or a BMI, you have to drill something into your cranium.
BMI?
Yeah.
No, that's body mass index.
No, even in the article it calls it a BMI.
Really?
Brain-machine interface.
All right.
Anyway, you'd have to put a chip on the surface of your brain. Who wants to do that, James?
If it takes away the color red, and I can't taste pepperoni.
What? I think James is getting the surgery right now.
I think he's having a stroke right now.
Turkey burger.
Do you smell toast, James?
I'm surfing through Kickstarter, and I'm slowly giving up my soul.
How is this different from Elon Musk's Neuralink?
It's by Elon Musk, and you take that back, you heretic.
Anyway,
I just
Did
asked
you say Elon Musk?
James is slowly degrading.
Yeah. Incels don't count if you can't say them right.
His CPU's shutting down.
I just learned to love.
One core at a time. Anyway, instead of putting a chip on the surface of your brain,
That'd
you
be
can...
a pretty fast shutdown for James with the single core he's got going.
Yeah.
I don't get the reference. Could you say that? Say that one. I don't get the reference.
I just feel so bad for him right now.
I'm good.
I was laughing at myself too much to get that joke in timely. Okay.
Anyway, instead of a chip on your brain, it uses an armband. Huge
On your brain?
Step up.
An armband on your brain?
Just slide it around.
You're like a
It,
headband.
it just kind of sloshes in there, you know?
Now we're on to something.
Anyway, so the demo here is this guy is typing on a keyboard. They take the keyboard away. He's still typing with his brain. So I think it's...
He's just staring at them with an angry expression. I showed you.
Give me back my keyboard.
So it's kind of sounding like he's still moving his fingers, but the nerve impulses is what's being picked up here, and it's typing via the nerve impulses that your brain is sending to your hands.
So if you're not a good touch typist, you'd still have a problem typing with
But this is the same type of thing as that laser mouse or keyboard that you can like project down. Those are pretty cool.
So I wonder if once you're good enough at it that you don't actually need to move your fingers.
That would be cool.
But anyway, it's a big step up for a BMI, brain machine interface.
Oh, I see.
So future
Why would
tech
they do
coming.
brain computer interface BCI? That's not taken. Perfect. Done.
You're welcome.
Write them a letter.
I will.
Maybe we can get the Gadget Spot crowd of 10 people to convince them.
Maybe you can be a test subject.
Start one of those surveys, or not surveys, petition, online petition.
Yep.
James is so deep into Kickstarter over there that his eyes are watering from not blinking.
I am too blinking.
I think that about does it for today. We're gonna end on that brain matter interface brain machine interface. Unless there's anything else you wanted to talk about, James.
No.
Okay.
We'll see you
Owen?
guys on Saturday.
3 to 4:30.
Yeah.
Where?
I don't know.
Neaters at City Creek.
There you go.
Caneaters. Or just check our Facebook page.
Yeah, we're gonna
I'll
put-
probably post something later tonight.
We'll put something out there.
All right, that's it. We're done. Owen, take us out.
We hope you care.